Since I made a best superhero Mount Rushmore, I might as well make a best supervillain Mount Rushmore. So for this one, it was actually harder to decide who would make it than it was to figure out who would make it on the superhero one, but I think I figured it out. For the first spot, I'm going to give it to Thanos, and if it wasn't for the MCU, he might not have even made it on the list, but watching him try to collect the Infinity Stones and his reason for snapping half of reality to bring back balance made for such an interesting character, not only for a comic book villain, but a movie villain in general. The next spot on this list is going to go to the next Avengers villain, which is Doctor Doom, and I really hope that they don't mess him up in Doomsday, because in the comics, he's one of the most compelling characters because he was able to master magic and science. Along with that, he's also one of the most intimidating villains, and I don't think you would want to mess with him, and he's one of the few villains to create one of the perfect nations in the world. Now these next two villains, I would consider them to be locks to make it in on the list, and this first one is going to be Magneto, and I think what makes Magneto so interesting is that he does want to fight for mutant kind, but he has different views than Charles Xavier does, and it's been proven that sometimes Magneto's way does get things done, and occasionally he'll even be a good leader for the X-Men. And finally, the last spot goes to the Joker. And I think the reason why the Joker is so successful is because he's a part of one of the greatest comic book rivalries in history with Batman. And if Batman represents order, then the Joker represents chaos, and both of them have to coexist for things to work. And I think it would be hard to imagine one without the other. Comment what your supervillain Mount Rushmore would be.